Welcome back, crew. Bitcoin took a little bit of a punch in the nose yesterday. Some people are calling it a flash crash. Obviously, they haven't been around. This is not a flash crash. This is not a flash crash. This was just a slight correction, but we're going to get into all of it. Ethereum making all-time new highs yesterday, and we got some altcoins that are really starting to catch on fire, and they're really ready to sneak in and steal the show. Is this the start of that altcoin season that we all been waiting for? Welcome back, Crypto Coach. Your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in Bitcoin and crypto action. If you like what you see, give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe. And don't forget to come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. All right, let's get right into it. For those of you that are new to the channel, we've been running a long Bitcoin for quite a while now. I'm going to take you over to WeX to show you our open trades, complete transparency. And also, I had a faux pas yesterday. That's for sure. I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to be getting into like how we should really be looking at this. We're going to dive in on the weekly chart and check it out. So I'm going to take you over to WeX right now, the broker of our choice. Low fees, fast execution. All right, long Bitcoin, 117,000, down 47.92. H bar. We're long H bar, we're down 15.82. Not really worried about H bar at all. I'm not even really worried about Bitcoin because we're going to ride out the storm. But if you're new to the channel, we've had big scores on Ethereum, lots of profits, many trades. And so don't panic. And you got to get into our live stream. And also, you have to come on over and join our pro trading group because we're navigating our group through this bumpy ride that we're going to continue to have. So right now, if we come on over to Bitcoin on the 2-hour chart, and here is the faux pas, okay? I told you yesterday we had two spikes up. That for me meant that we were going to eventually re-attack this high and potentially trade higher. This box had to hold. Wrong. Box. This fell right out of bed. Okay, now we're sitting right now at a main support of 110,000-ish. Below that support's 109. Now, a lot of people are calling this a flash crash. Like I said, obviously they haven't been around a long time because I know flash crashes, man. I mean, I remember the NASDAQ crashing. I remember, markets going south 60, 35, 40%. And the big wins, when people actually knew what was happening, they scored some big wins, okay? And on the short side and the long side. So right now we're going to navigate you through this. So we're trading right now around 111,005. We only tagged 114,800 yesterday. Right, this area, I thought this area was going to hold. I was completely wrong. All right, completely wrong about it. I really didn't expect this drop. Now, we've had some whales that are moving money around. So that, look, there's no excuse for it. Technically, should have worked. It didn't. So on to the next, right? So forget about that. Let's talk about where we're going from here, all right? So we got whales unloading, moving billions out of Bitcoin, and guess where they're going with it? They're going into Ethereum. So they say, Tom, but Ethereum fell off. Ethereum made an all-time new high yesterday, and yes, it is consolidating. When you have a big portfolio, you got to move. You don't just go and buy straight out, okay? You let the marketplace take profits, and you're going to come in and scoop. And we're going to cover Ethereum in a moment. But I want to take you over to an X post that we have. That's why you got to follow us on X, all right? I'm going to take this up. Let's make this larger so we can see it. Right now, where it says is, look, the data never lies. September, we're in for a bumpy ride. Okay, if you look at all past Septembers, 2021 down 7, then in October we had a rally of 40%. In 2020 down 7.51, 2019 down 13%, so you could read the chart for yourself right here. September has really been very bumpy for Bitcoin holders or short-term traders. That's why we're going to talk about like long-term. And I'm not saying we can't go deeper. Okay, I'm not saying that. I gave the alert out a couple of days ago with the weekly chart. And foolish me, I didn't actually revisit my idea of the weekly, and I'm going to revisit it today. And I'm not saying that things are going to happen that way, but we need to be cognizant of exactly what's happening in the marketplace. So the first step is bloody don't panic. Okay. If you're a long term trader, you don't even care about this. You're probably still sipping martinis somewhere. If you're a short term trader, of course, you're a little bit nervous about what's happening in the marketplace. We're going to guide you through it. If you join the live group, our group on Telegram, we will guide you through this. And we've made some calls on Ethereum that I think that, if you were alerted to, you're basically keeping your powder dry right now, which is very, very good. But every time this happens, this September has really hurt Bitcoin holders every single cycle. It bleeds, it does the fake pump, it hits like an exhaustion zone, and then October comes and the month of rebounds begins. So Legend's going to buy the dip. All right, they're going to buy the dip. Tourists are going to buy the top. But if we survive September, and we will, okay, we were going to thrive in October and November. And then we got the end of the year to worry about. But anyway, we got a reality check right now on Bitcoin. Definitely got a reality check. I'm going to come on over to, actually, let me just finish up with this 2 hour, okay? I'm not going to move my fupa, although I do want to erase this box. But I'm not going to do it because I'm a professional technician. Right now, we are sitting at the lower tine of the Andrews Pitchfork. The breakdown actually takes us way down to the 106 where we have support. Okay, we're not there yet. But really, what needs to occur now to show any type of recovery is we got to get over. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this up to, like, where is the top here? Man. Right in here. You know what? I'm going to go right there. I'm going to take this off because that's dead now. We got to get over, really. The first level over is 114, say 4. Then it's 115. So we got a lot of wood to chop, okay? Since this market is very, very quiet, it's the end of August. Everybody's away or on holiday. They're finishing up their summer. We're going to have some chop, okay? And you got to get into our pro group where we'll guide you through it as it happens. So this spike down, down to 110, 645. I don't like it. I don't like that it happened. I don't like that it broke the bottom of this box. So therefore, it's actually showing some weakness right now. Yeah, okay, it's showing weakness. We're going to get into the longer term to discuss what's happening. So this 110, if 110.6, really the first sign of any type of strength is going to be like 113.8. Right here. So we got two levels. Okay, now I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth. I'm just basically showing you as I'm doing the analysis live. This level has to hold, or else we're dripping down towards 109. We got to get over this level, use it as a base again, get over this top, and then we could start trading back into a range. Now, or it's not going to go straight up. Okay, we got a lot of, like I said, wood to chop. But right now, as it stands, Bitcoin, is showing a little bit of weakness, a little bit of slippage. Okay, but a recovery over, say, 113.5, 114 is actually going to show some strength. All right, so like we said, legends buy dips, tourists buy tops. So the reality check that we got, okay, is right here on this chart. We got a double top. Everybody loves the pump, but the chart is a screaming double top. And 112 is the level that we needed really for it to hold. We're slightly below it, which means that there is still weakness in the marketplace. And if it breaks, it's not going to dip, it's going to cascade. So, and weak hands are going to get liquidated. All hell's going to break loose. And we're going to go to that weekly chart to actually show you, where the main point of support is. Okay, I know, like I said, this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, so it is what it is. But we got strong hands will reload on the dip. Okay. And if you survive this, if you can hold on tight with both hands in your teeth, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay. But, you got to be able to ride the waves. Okay. So, like I said, get into our pro group. It will help you navigate through this. Okay. We'll help you navigate through this. Now I'm going to come over to the weekly. I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea on the weekly. All right. I talked about this recently. I said, really, the support. This is truly an uptrend marketplace. Okay. The trend is your friend until it ends, right? It hasn't ended yet. The main support on this thing is right around 90. Let's go down to this low wick. Let's say 99,000. Okay. Could it go there? Absolutely, it could go there. The break of the upward movement is here, right at that previous low that we had when the world was coming to an end before we made the new all-time highs. That's the break of structure. Now, I know that's far, far away, but really, when you got whales selling like they're selling right now, they're trying to do something. So you got to. The question I have is, as I'm looking at this, I'm saying, I know they're rotating into other alts. They're taking profits. When we got the first spike up from, Powell from the Jackson Hole saying that they're going to lower rates, and we could not really obtain or really regain the high again, there was a lot of selling pressure. Of course, hindsight's 2020. I thought it was a trap. It wasn't. Okay, so there was some heavy duty sellers up there. So I admit that, hey, I didn't really see it. I thought that, like I said, that 114 level, 113 level, I thought 111 was definitely a line in the sand. Now we're down right near 111 right now. So there's the old CME market gap that's down at 97,500. So are the whales gunning for that? That's a question. I don't know. They may be. They may be gunning to push down and really, really screw like short-term traders. Okay, get everybody to think marketplace is heading much lower. Let's get the heck out of this. And they're going to be accumulating down there. Whales are going to accumulate down there. Now, the question is, will they be able to do it? That's the question. The lines in the sand right now are that 112. We're down below it. The next level of support is 109,000. Below that, we got the 106. And after that, we got this level right here on this weekly chart. So like 97, the old CME gap that was not filled. If that thing returns to fill that gap, I'll be sheerly amazed, but it could possibly happen. Now, I want to talk about some things here. Okay. When you're trading with the trend, okay, losses aren't mistakes. They're not. Okay. They're the price really of admission for bigger wins. Now, let's unpack why when you're buying a breakout is it a screw up or is it just part of the game? And really how your mistakes actually can set you up for monster gains. And, so monster trends make the monster gains, right? So if you bought the breakout, as long as you had a tight stop loss on it, just think of it as price of admission. Okay. Eventually, you're going to catch the big move. So this is basically going back to, like, I'll take you back. I've known many trend followers. Okay, and I'm truly not. I'm a day trader, but I follow the trend of the day. So, but I know guys that like to trend follow, and they capture moves like this, huge exponential moves. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do because 60% of their trades go south. That sounds like failure, right? Wrong. For them, that's trend following by design. Small controlled losses capped at 1 to 2% of their capital are like buying insurance for the big move. The losses keep you in the game. If you now, why I say that, people that are talking about this being a flash crash, because I've been around a long time, and if you take the early 2000s .com crash, those following trading rules with small losses basically stayed in the game. They cut the losses fast. There was no ego. There was no drama. But when the NASDAQ tanked, They banked profits that buried the small dents. So they were going long. They realized they kept taking small hits on it, and then when it turned, they got short and they made all their money back and more. And we will do the same thing. If we actually see Bitcoin actually turning and tanking, we're not going to stay long. We'll ride the trend down, and then we'll look for another level to buy. We're not maniacs. Okay, we're going to be watching this very closely. Or if you think really, I can remember back 2008, the mother of all black swan events in recent history, because in the 90s we had a black swan event that, Paul Tudor Jones made a fortune on. But trend followers like slogged through months of like crappy, choppy markets. They racking up losses on signals that completely fizzled out. But the losses, like their stop losses, kept their powder dry. So when stocks, cratered and bonds and gold soared back in 2008, the disciplined ones, the ones not crying over spilt milk, posted gains from 20 to 100%. It's not luck, it's process. So losses weed out the noise. So you're ready for when the market screams, and we're going to be ready for it. Okay, we're just letting you know. I'm just talking so that you can understand how I think anyway, and how our group thinks. So trend traders always jump on momentum only to get stopped out during pullbacks. So are they wrong? No. They follow their rules, they risk small, they exit quick. All right. So back when oil rocketed from 25 to 147 a barrel, those who stayed true let their winners run, wiping out any type of any losses, and then some. So you got to understand the game. Okay, you can't hate the players, can't hate the game. It's all just part of it. All right. So keep trading. Keep your losses small. Get into our pro group. We'll help you navigate through this. We got a lot of good traders in there offering advice, telling you what to do. And there's been some really decent wins there. So now, as we sit at this 111,005, okay, we got to keep remembering that what runs this whole thing, global liquidity. All right, we're back to the global liquidity. All right, forget the noise. M2 runs this whole show. Forget the narratives. Forget the news flash crash. Give me a break. All right, if we were down 30%, it would be a flash crash. Okay, but we're not. We basically just came down and are now reestablishing. Now, do we have the potential to drive lower? Yeah, we do. Okay. And we got to watch that, 112 area, like I said, really we got to get above like 114 really to show any type of recovery right now. Got to keep your eye on Ethereum. We're going to get into that in a second as well. So M2 global liquidity is the driver of Bitcoin. Chart says it all. Bitcoin is next in line. It's going to take off. It's going much higher. We just got to get through the morass of what we're getting, we're going through right now. And when liquidity floods the market, Bitcoin doesn't walk, it starts to sprint. So, if you really look at the macro picture of the world right now, there's absolutely no chance that the European Union can, raise rates. Actually, they lowered rates. They're going to stay in a dovish stance. Germany itself has very low productivity. If they're actually thinking, I mentioned this the other day, they're talking about like funding the Ukraine war, absolutely insanity. They don't have the money for it, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to commit political suicide. So, we got that on the back burner too as well. All right, I got to light my cigar 1 second, so I'm going to take a break. I got to light the cigar. Hang on. All right, let's move on to Ethereum. Now, meanwhile, Ethereum itself, man, Ethereum is rewriting history. It blasted through 4,900, tapping all-time new high right around 4,954, right before the $5,000 mark, and then it pulled back. So analysts are saying that there's some supply shock set up. Liquidity is driving up as demand keeps building. We saw the whales, they're dumping, and they're also buying Ethereum, right? So right now with ETFs live, institutions buying in, DeFi scaling, Ethereum's market cap is pushing towards 600 billion. Look, momentum is clearly on the side of Ethereum right now. Okay, so Bitcoin's taking a back seat. Ethereum is the one. All right. So if we look at this, we can say that the rocket is live. The bull flag breakout confirmed, points right to 6,000. We were very, very close to it. This isn't noise. This is the exact setup that marked every Ethereum parabola. Okay, every Ethereum straight up run. It's happening. Breakout traders know the script. If you're not strapped in, you're going to get left behind. Now, if we go over to Ethereum short term, we know, and we noted this in our group. We said, don't buy that breakout up top. Wait, we're going to get a retrace. Okay. And at the time, really when we were rallying up here, it didn't look like it happened. Now, the same damn old thing that screwed me up in Bitcoin actually proved completely correct here. We had the two spikes up that should have been saying that the retrace should have held. Again, this is only a 2-hour chart. Generally, it does work on 2-hour charts, but obviously, longer term chart is actually better. So this is an 8-hour chart. We had the first spike, retrace, second spike. There was not two confirm higher highs in a row. So now we're drifting down. It said the 4,600 level needed to hold in Ethereum. If it broke, we were going to go down to lower fib levels. We told our group that. So now they got that power to dry and they're waiting for the next setup, next long in Ethereum, and we're going to guide them through that. So get in our pro group. We're going to help you out. Okay. So really, if you look at Ethereum, we're going to give you some buy zones in Ethereum right here. The discount area right now. Ethereum price tags this level, I'm going to size up myself pretty big. So the path is clear. Load longs here, ride it to 5,200 plus. It's a gift the market rarely gives. Don't ignore it. We're talking about a discount level like right down here, 4,300 and down at 4,002. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So really, if you look at this, it's everything. It's right here in your face. Ethereum is actually the one that is stealing the show right now. So Ethereum is the one that you got to watch for the retrace. Come over. We can see Ethereum itself. All right, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. The 8-year Ethereum downtrend broke, snapped. Ethereum versus Bitcoin just printed the reversal, really, of a generation. Okay, 8 years of pressure. One golden cross to unleash it all. It's happening. Okay, Ethereum doesn't crawl out of setups like this. It detonates. So miss this, and you're going to regret it. You're really, really going to regret it. We have Ethereum going up to 10, 15,000. Okay, now of course, we're far away from that right now, but we are loading up, and again, in our pro community, you can get insights and figure out exactly where we're going to go long before we actually post the long in the next video where I say, oh, we got long Ethereum. We told you guys in the live group. You don't want to miss that, okay? You really don't want to miss it. So let's go on over to altcoins. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance a couple of ways. And here's Bitcoin dominance. We've been talking about this bearish engulfing candle on the monthly. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is 58.19. Yes, it's down. Let's look at another way of looking at it. Okay, we had a rising wedge bearish pattern. It's falling out. It's actually signaling that money's rotating out of Bitcoin, as we saw, and it's going into altcoins, good utility coins. Okay, so this is where it does get interesting. All right, we got Bitcoin dominance, slipping below. At one point, we were below 58. Now, capital is rotating into altcoins. Bioprotocol just pumped 128%, and pre-sale hype is heating up around MAGA coin finance. Even meme coins are starting to run again. So the narrative shifting. Pay attention to good utility coins. Don't pay attention. In my opinion, all right, those meme coins. I mean, what are you going to do with them, really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't see it, So the narrative shifting, Ethereum strength plus capital rotation equals early signs of altcoin season. All right. So I'm going to take you over to this. I'm going to show you this, the total market right there, the golden setup. We showed you this before. 4 years of higher lows, flat resistance unbroken. This is a coiled spring whales love and retail is ignoring. And when it breaks, portfolios are just not going to move. They're going to 10x or even more. All right. So this is what we got going on today. The good, the bad, the ugly, warts and all. Make sure you get into our private trading group. We'll help you out. So we got... make sure that you understand where you can join that group right here. Come on over right here. You click this link. You'll be taken over to this Telegram community where you can copy our trades. You can get in the conversation. Everything's there for you. So make sure that you come on over to X. Follow us on X where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. All right. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to, just be calm. This is not really a flash crash. I'm going to title it Flash Crash with a question mark. Ethereum smashes all-time new highs. All coins are heating up. Strap in because we got a lot of bumpy road ahead of us, and we'll guide you through it. So you got to join our pro group. You got to trade with your head, not over it. You got to do your own research. And as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.